Oh, welcome back, everyone. In this video, we would like to share with you how Lisa and I do a monthly setup.
So the monthly setup happens in the Friday Huddle. The second to last Friday of every month is when we do the planning for the next month. And we will run through the steps of how we do that right here for you. So again, welcome to the Harmony Planning community. We're happy you're here. My name is Lisa Blough. I am the CEO of Hot Mess Organizing Design, a professional organizer, creator of a legacy planning system called The Binder, and co-creator of the YNL Harmony Planner.
And I am Yvonne Winkler, and I am a certified life coach and mental health advocate, co-creator of this beautiful project here, the YNL Harmony Planner, and author of my book, Freedom Seeker, Reclaiming Feminine Wisdom. All right, Lisa, shall we dive in? I'll set up my camera to show you the planner. And I just want to add, whether you are using our beautiful physical planner or whether you have opted into the digital download and you printed it yourself and you're using it in a binder and you're putting it together yourself, or whether you're using it on a tablet, the process is the same.
So the first thing we do is we go to our month at a glance. And this is where we're going to transfer all of our meetings that are already scheduled. So if you have a scheduling program that you use for your business or any personal appointments that are made or anything that's coming from your Google Calendar or Outlook calendar, anything like that, this is where we pull all of the appointments into. You'll see that Yvonne has hers color coded. We do talk a lot about color coding the different areas of your life. And when you first start to do this, I recommend creating a legend off to the side until you get used to what the colors are. The next thing you're going to do is in the Harmony Planner on the tabbed page, we actually have a sheet that is for important dates. This is where I place birthdays, anniversaries. I put in here any things that are yearly subscriptions that are coming up. Yvonne, you want to add anything to the important dates that you put in?
No. I only
Nope.
put in birthdays, anniversaries, and subscriptions, yearly subscriptions. Yeah.
Perfect. So this is, and they're the same usually from year to year. And if there's any more, I add them onto this page. I will then take all of these birthdays or anniversaries and I will pluck them into the month at a glance so that I see what's coming up and I know if I need to have some prep work done or some shopping done. For a birthday or an anniversary coming up, anything like that. Once those are in, I will then take a look at which phase I'm in, and I will mark that in the left-hand side. And Yvonne's going to talk about phases shortly. The next thing I do is I will then pull from my goals. We have a quarterly planning section in the Harmony Planner. This is one of the major things that we work on when we do the YNL Harmony Retreat in February or March every year. I will pull all of the stuff from the month listed there, and I will bring it on to my monthly mapping. And I will actually plunk everything into here. And that you can't really see that because it's a little bit light, but it does have week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. I will plunk in those items into which week I think they're going to happen in. Once I've mapped it out, I will take everything from week 1 and I will place it on the left-hand side of my month at a glance. And I will put it under my phase there. This acts as reminding me what my intentions or projects are for that week when I go to do my weekly planning. Now I'm going to stop here, Yvonne, so that you can chat about the phases.
So as Lisa mentioned, the planning system we are using is in alignment with our seasons and cycles because the feminine operates in a 28-day cycle, not in a 24-hour system, as we are mostly used to in our current culture and environment. This is one of the biggest differences that sets the YNL Harmony Planner apart from other planning systems, because we are really leaning into blending and harmonizing the feminine energy with the masculine energy. The masculine energy is what we're doing here, the planning, the doing, the actionable, the container that holds us accountable for what it is we want to do and need to do. And then the feminine is going with the flow and the rhythm of the seasons and the cycles. Because when we go with the flow of it, we require less energy, we require less, there's less friction. We have 4 phases that we go through throughout the month or throughout a 28-day cycle. And we start in the spring, which is our follicular phase. And in the spring, what we do is we plan and initiate, just like we would in the season of spring. We plan and initiate. We typically do tasks like planning what your social media content might look like, what you might have for dinner over this month, what you want to do with the kids, what you want to do for your personal life, maybe with your spouse, all of those planning things. That is the first step usually of whatever task we want to do. And then that phase is followed by the ovulation phase, which is summer. And during that phase, we are ready to connect and be visible and to really dive in, have those events that we want to invite lots of people over for dinner, or we want to go and network, or we want to go and shake hands and kiss babies and all of those things. That is like, just think of the season of summer. What are all the things you really enjoy doing in summer? That is basically what falls into this 28-day phase. And then that's followed by the fall, which is our luteal phase. And the luteal phase is all about completing and focusing. And literally within our system, everything in our system works together to just want to focus. So you'll recognize this phase by when you feel like you want to just shut people out, like you want to shut the door. You don't want anyone to interrupt you. You want to get things done. That is when you know you're in your complete and focus phase. And that is usually the longest phase of all of the phases that we have. And during that phase, you do exactly that. You clean up, you clean out, you tidy up, you do your accounting, you do your bookkeeping stuff, you maybe pay your bills that week. That is a great time to also start curling up with a book and start going maybe into some research stuff. And then that luteal phase is followed by winter. And winter, of course, what do we do in winter? We cuddle up and we snuggle up and we keep warm and we go inward. And this is when we are usually in our menstruation phase. Whether you are still bleeding or not, this phase happens to us every 28 days. And isn't it just so beautiful to know that every 28 days we have one phase in there that is a natural rest and reflect period, where we can kick back, sit back, and just really let things settle down. Like we cannot always go and expect to never burn out or to feel tired or exhausted. It's just not possible. I know that's what we've been told and taught and maybe even lived, but how's that been working for you? I know it hasn't. So there you go. This is how we do things here at YNL Harmony. And what Lisa was sharing with you earlier on the left-hand side of the month, because we are in different cycles. Most of us don't have the exact same cycle. You can write what your phase is, and then the focus would be plan and initiate, connect and be visible, complete and focus, or rest and reflect. And then underneath that, organize your tasks that you pulled over or that you have identified that you want to do or want to get done. Organize them by the phase that you're in so that you're really rolling with the flow of your season that you're in.
That's great. Thanks, Yvonne.
And to finish this off, I would also like to point out in our planner on the very top, we have the goals. And this is if you have been to our retreat and you set goals in the quarterly section that we get to when we spent a whole weekend together, where we really dive into what lights us up, what do we want to see over the next 12 months happen. And then Lisa walks us through a reverse engineering process that ends up looking like this. Okay. And so when you pull the goals that you've put down here from the months and you look at the steps or the tasks, you can then reflect on which area of your life does it fall into, and maybe put them here to remind yourself throughout the month that the tasks you're putting here go back and circle back to the goals that you have set for yourself. this is something, again, as everything within this planner, it's a suggestion. Mine often stays empty because I have everything written at the beginning of my planner. But if you feel that this might work really well for you, it's here. And that's why we have it here, so that you can always look back to what holds you accountable for living the life that you really love and creating a life that you love. So we have lots of space within this planner where we come always back to that. What lights you up? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Who do you want to see?
And you can make it work for you in whatever way that is. The way, just because this is the way we do it doesn't mean it's going to specifically work that way for you. So there is a lot of flexibility in it in here to use it for you. Another part that I want to bring up is the monthly checklist. So very similar to the weekly checklist that we talked about in the weekly setup, we have a monthly checklist. So things that live on here are things that happen every month that you don't want to fall through the cracks. So things like maybe paydays, or I can't read those, what those say, Yvonne.
Yeah, so we have like clean the washing machine, monthly intentions and goals and reflection, accounting, invoicing, self-care appointments, check in with your coach, pet care, groomer appointments, doctor's appointments, monthly networking events, birthdays, and important dates. We actually have one in every planner that is clear, so you can write your own weekly and monthly checklist, and then you just take it out, which is why we have this as a flip planner. That was very intentional. You can take this out and you can take it to the month that you're in, and you can have this sitting here and just follow the checklist and just make sure that everything you have on the checklist is somewhere incorporated in your planner.
Yeah. And it's a nice place to park things. If there's a month that you forget something, you just park it on your monthly checklist so that it's not forgotten again. So that is a part of it, putting everything from your monthly checklist into your month at a glance. And then we also in the Harmony Planner have a habit tracker that you can incorporate when you're incorporating your goals and intentions. So for instance, maybe this month you have decided you want to try to drink more water. So you can add 3 glasses of water, whatever that looks like for you, onto the habit tracker or anything else that you're trying to bring in to your month. So you can add it on the top there, and then the days are numbered along. And it's a great way to keep track of anything new that you're trying to bring in relation to your goals.
I had to go back a couple of months because mine lives on the fridge, and I haven't pulled the last month back into the planner yet. It lives on the fridge because that's where I see it every day, and I can just mark it off. You can make it fun. You can use stickers to mark it off with so that you have more fun with it, or you can just use check, of course. And another tip that I just recently heard that I think is really valuable to say is if you're struggling with because it's for space reasons, it's a sideways writing, just highlight this particular area in a color that you love. And then that way, you're always on track on the same. And then highlight the other one a different color. Right?
I love that idea.
And then that way you don't lose track on which column is what and what. If you have read James Clear Atomic Habits, just the simple thing of checking off what it is that you want to change or create a habit about is one of the biggest keys to success. Just that action of checking off. It's so satisfying, isn't it, Lisa?
It sure is. And then the next step I would say is to mimic all of this stuff that you've put in your month at a glance into any digital calendars that you use, just so that you have an idea of what's coming up in a month. You can do this more in depth on a weekly basis when you do your weekly planning, but it's a good idea to mimic it then as well. And one of the other things that lives on my monthly planning checklist is the monthly review. So I make sure that at the beginning of the next month, I'm doing the review for the prior month before it gets forgotten and lost. So that is another piece of the monthly setup for me. And then when you do your review, take a look at what went well, what didn't go well, what didn't get done. Is it something that you want to delete or delegate or refocus? So just because it happened last month doesn't mean that it doesn't get to move it forward or to let it go. So
Love that. Thank you so much, Lisa. That was awesome.
if you guys have any questions or any comments, any feedback from this video or from the planner in general, we'd love to hear from you. You can reach out to us many different ways through social media, or you can join the Friday Huddle that happens every Friday at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It is a Zoom call. The links can be found on our social media, and Yvonne's going to share the bit.ly link that it is also found at.
Yes. It's bit.ly, bit.ly/huddle Friday. And huddle is capitalized H and Friday is capitalized F. And I would like to just add that when you join our email list, you get a reminder for the monthly setups sent into your inbox so that you don't forget when monthly setups are happening. We usually do them the third Friday of every month so that you have lots of time to prepare for the next month. And it's not like, oh my God, tomorrow is the next month. It's a half an hour longer than the Friday huddles. We meet for the Friday huddle for an hour. And then for the monthly setup, we add a half an hour at the end to give us extra time, because doing the monthly setup and the weekly planning takes just a little bit longer. So join us there, and our social media handles, if you want to follow us, our Instagram is Hot Mess Organizing and Yvonne Winkler _. So follow us there. Join our Facebook group. We have a Plan with Harmony Facebook group. When you join the Friday Huddle, we'll also send you a link to join our WhatsApp group, which is another place where you get reminders about things that we're doing and what we're working on.
That was awesome. Thank you, and welcome to the Harmony community. We're happy you're here.